We have awards, presentations, and proclamations. Item number 1, we have a presentation of the proclamation recognizing February the 4th as Saka Nakodar Day. And I'm going to read it real quick, like I haven't read in 3 days, but just a little more reading. So this is the proclamation of the mayor of the city of Livingston, California, and the council. Whereas on February the 4th, 1986, 4 unarmed and peaceful Sikh students, namely Ravinder Singh, Baldir Singh, Jilman Singh, and Harminder Singh, were killed by state police in Punjab, the state, India's Nakodar subdivision, in an unprovoked firing while participating in protests against the desecration of Sikh scripture, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, considered by all Sikhs to be the final, supreme, and living Guru after the lineage of 10 Sikh Gurus. Whereas the state authorities violated the freedom of peaceful assembly, which is endorsed by Article 20 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 21 of the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and Article 5 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights Defenders. Whereas the dead bodies were secretly disposed of to conceal the extrajudicial killing. Whereas the state government constituted a commission of judicial inquiry headed by a renowned jurist on this incident. Whereas the Justice Gurmeet Singh Commission of Inquiry submitted its report to the state government on October 31st, 1986, but the government failed to place and discuss the report, along with the mandatory action taken report in the state assembly within 6 months of submission. Whereas the state obscured the relevant parts of the Judicial Commission inquiry report and took no action. Not a single perpetrator has been brought to justice to date. Whereas the victims' families have been fighting for truth, justice, accountability, and closure for over 36 years. Whereas this incident has now also received international attention as Dr. Iqtidar Chima, member of the United Nations Global Steering Committee of Office of the Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide, has raised it on various international forums. Whereas the United States is an advocate for the democratic and human rights of all people and stands in solidarity with the families of the victims of Nakodar incident and Sikh nation in the pursuit of truth and justice as they continue to build worldwide support. And whereas the incident has come to be known as the Saka Nakodar of the Punjabi word for massacre, Saka, and the region of Punjab, Nakodar, where it took place. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Livingston City Council does hereby proclaim February the 4th as Saka Nakodar Day. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affix the seal of the City of Livingston with this 7th day of February 2023. So I will sign, and later we will provide a copy and I just want to say thank you for giving the City of Livingston an opportunity to do this proclamation on behalf of our Punjab community. And you want to speak, say a few words? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. My name is Mandeep Singh. I was born in Punjab, but I immigrated to Livingston here back in 1996. For the folks that have no idea why we're doing this, this is important because Livingston has a really big Sikh population, and it has been a sort of refuge from for Sikhs escaping persecution in India, whether that is religious genocide, economic genocide, and we're all here for a reason. All of our families immigrated here, right? At some point or another. But to this point, to this proclamation, I wanted to share this. Like some words from this organization called Insaf. Insaf means justice. This was an organization founded by 2 Harvard graduates in 2005 who could have gone on to have a big career in law school or in like big corporate law firms, but they decided to form this organization so they can document human rights abuses in Punjab from 1984 to 1995 and beyond. And this is what they have to say. This is from 2001, but on February 4th, 1986, India's security forces shot and unlawfully killed 4 Sikh men participating in a peaceful religious procession and protest in Nakodar, Punjab. Ravinder Singh, Baldeer Singh, Chalman Singh, Harminder Singh, along with several hundred others, were gathered in Nakodar, Punjab to protest the desecration of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and collect the burnt remains for disposal according to Sikh religious rites. Without warning, security forces opened fire on the procession. Security forces killed Ravinder Singh, Baldeer Singh, and Chalman Singh. In the initial firing, they chased down Harminder Singh, drew him out from where he had taken shelter, shot him at close range. Security forces took their bodies to the civil hospital in Nakodar for post-mortem. When the doctors informed security forces Harminder Singh was still alive, they removed him and subsequently executed him right there. Ravinder Singh's father, Baldev Singh, identified the bodies at the civil hospital. When the families went to the hospital to collect the bodies, security forces prevented the families from claiming the bodies and secretly cremated them. Baldev Singh launched a civil disobedience action in front of Nakodar police station to protest the unlawful killings and secret cremations and was joined by local political and community leaders. In response, the Punjab government agreed to establish a commission inquiry into the shootings. In 2019, over 3 decades later, after only continuous advocacy, the families received part 1 of the inquiry report. So just part 1 of the inquiry report, no action taken against any of those that were actually doing that, the Saka Nakodar. The inquiry found that the order that effective firing should be lower part of the body was completely ignored. Appears the bullets were intentionally aimed towards vital body parts of the 4 persons killed. The police firing at Nakodar on 4th of February 1986 was not justified and could have been avoided. The government alleges the part 2 of the report, which contains hundreds of pages of testimony, had gone missing. The families have pursued numerous remedies during these intervening 35 years. All of the victims' parents, except for the parents of Ravinder Singh, have died while awaiting justice. Ravinder Singh's father, Baldev Singh, in his old age now, recently wrote to the chief minister and said, "We and the other victims' families have been living with the trauma of these murders and callous attitudes of successive governments for 35 years. We urge you to constitute a special investigative team and to bring the charges against the perpetrators of this atrocity while the witnesses, perpetrators, and aged parents of the victims are still alive." So that's the reason why the proclamations like this are important. They build international pressure. A lot of people know India as this like the biggest democracy or the oldest democracy in the world, which just couldn't be further from the truth. After really the farmers' protest in 2020, I think we saw that sort of curtain being pulled back a little bit. And now people are seeing, especially with this new BBC documentary, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out on Modi. And I would highly encourage you to visit this website, insaf.org. It is ensaaf.org. And, with that, my time is up. But thank you all, and really appreciate you all. I would also like to, just for a minute or two, invite the parents of one of our high school students. We have a club in over 70 high schools called Sikh Honors and Service Society, where we engage with the youth, Sikh youth and Punjabi youth. Although everybody's welcome, it's open, it's an inclusive club for everyone. But this is one of our students from there, and I just met her dad today, actually, and we were talking a little bit earlier about this, why this is so important, and I think he wanted to share a couple words.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, council members and everybody in here giving me a chance to speak on this. I'm not a big of a speaker, but I'll do my best. Just to add to Mr. Singh's story there, he wanted me to share what I've been through, because I actually witnessed one of those periods of time, one of those genocides, which was 1984, a couple of years prior to what he was talking about. I was only 7 years old of age. and a 7-year-old does not remember a whole lot of stuff. I don't remember any family dealings, any other kids I used to play with, but I do remember a lot of the things that kind of made a permanent mark on my memory. I still remember me and a friend of mine who were going to the school, actually on the bus, and when shooting started, the bus driver dropped us off apparently to him, he did his best. He put us in a small street where we could hide for about 30, 40 minutes. We were there, and we did find out that poor bus driver was killed. He was his whole bus was burned down, and he was actually pulled out on the street with a tire on his body and put on fire right in the middle of the town. But after that, obviously I'm standing in front of you. We safely, when the shooting stopped, everything stopped. We walked. Me and my friend, we started walking home, and the whole street. It's not even. I won't even be able to describe how it was. Just blood and dead bodies everywhere. Luckily, when I got to our street, my dad was coming from the other side, from our home, to get us. And my dad actually was in the temple where military attacked. And how he got out, how he survived, that's a whole another story. I'm trying not to take too much time. But I just want to thank everybody that giving us opportunity to represent us. And hopefully, even till today, like he said, people are looking for their missing sons and daughters. But thank you again for giving us this stage to get our word out to everybody and create more awareness, and hopefully one day justice will be served. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any more public comment in regards to this item? Take a picture real quick? Sure.
You guys can all get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jason.
No, we're going to do this way. There's a good amount of it. 1, 2, 3. That worked. Thank
Mayor, if I could say a few words as well.
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
I prepared a lot of notes for this meeting, and the words that you spoke and the gentleman that spoke today, including Mandeep, thank you for the summary. A word that the mayor said earlier, solidarity, is key here. No matter where we're from, what color our skin is, what we believe in, what our word for God is, we're all the same. We're all the same. The family, as Mandeep mentioned, has been fighting for over 3 decades, 35 or 36 years. And the fight's not over. This case is still in the high court till this day. We're lucky that we're a melting pot here locally, and we have all sorts of cultures and religions, and it's very important that we not only respect and acknowledge our differences, but also look at what unites us. And reflection today and tonight is something that does unite us. I can't share how immensely proud I am of this council, of the mayor, and our city. I this hits very close to home for me. One of these gentlemen is actually a relative of mine. And in preparation for this meeting, I spoke to Mr. Harinder Singh. For our Punjabis in the audience and online, Sada Mama ji lagda, Harinder Singh ji. And speaking to him, I invited him here tonight, but he was at a similar ceremony in Mantika tonight. And his biggest thing was how history repeats itself over and over and over. It's the same film in different areas. So as we reflect, as we push forward, and though you can't put things behind you, it's important to acknowledge our history and try to move forward as best we can. So thank you once again for everybody being here and speaking tonight. Once again, just, I was kind of lost for words, but once again, just very proud of everybody. Thank you. Thank you all.
Mr. Mayor, just to show, when Mandeep mentioned the BBC documentary, to show the difference in countries, we can watch it here, but it's prohibited in India. You can't even see the documentary in India. This is how fearful the government is of what they did. Now, this is a documentary made by BBC, and nothing to do with the Indian government, media, but yet they won't allow it. And it's a darn shame what happened, and I applaud the folks that are still moving forward with this. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
One last thing for me, that he did ask me to mention to everybody, there are updates on Twitter, twitter.com/Saka Nakodar. Please visit that, as well as the NSOF website for more information on this matter. And I hope for more discussions in the future. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Any more comments from the dais? All right, well, once again, thank you for the opportunity, and to the community in Livingston. I think this is very important, and it just shows how much we should care for everybody else. And even though we have different communities, we are one community, and that's the way it should be looked at, and just there to support each other. All right, thank you.